Well, hello influencers, this is Dallas and welcome to another episode of Digital Influence. And today I'm really excited to be talking to my good friend Brock Bowen, and we're at Brock's place. He's got a beautiful spot here overlooking the Coral Sea over Yorkeys Knob, so we're enjoying a wonderful view. We're not going to share it, we might share it with you later. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk to Brock. He is a great friend of mine and has taught me heaps about mindset, coaching, energy, momentum, maximising your personal potential. Tell us more about yourself, Brock. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, hey, it's good to be here, guys. Absolute pleasure to be on the show with you, Dallas. And I guess this is the thing. I've done a number of different things in my life, and I always got this question to the point where I was like, there has to be something more than this. That we can go deeper. We can really shift up gears, and we can keep going next level. Every single day of our life, we can grow and be something greater. And it's been fun, working with people now as a mentor and a mastermind. I call it M55. What I love more than anything is it's been fun to live the way that I choose to live, calling myself a lifetarian and having adventures around the world. But now with this online phenomenon of what we can do, it's such a blessing to be able to share it with people. Even to be having this conversation with you guys now, it's ridiculous. Like, how cool is technology?
Yeah, incredible. And one of the reasons I was so excited about having you on the show, mate, is that you're really kind of living the dream in terms of you've been doing sort of coaching and one-on-one work with people and doing a transformation locally and traveling the world and have run some really successful businesses in the health space, and that's sort of where you started out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now you're sort of much more into the big picture, and that means that there's not necessarily a ton of people just in your immediate neighbourhood who can use you, but your message is so powerful that people around the world are excited about it and coming to you and getting onto your programs. And so the ability to go global is huge in terms of what it can do for you. So tell us more about what the impact is and what you're up to now.
I think it's just powerful. Just what Dallas touched on there, just suggested to me something. My last business I had in Sydney was an organic fruit and vegetable business. Plus, I used to do professional entertaining. Plus, I was coaching people one-on-one and doing some men's work and running retreats and so forth. It was really fun. But one of the things I wanted most was the ability to impact a lot of people, number one. And two was the ability to be able to work from anywhere. Because some of you guys might relate to this. You love your life, but 4 weeks holiday a year, it really doesn't cut it. There's so many cultures and countries and people to go around and experience. And I look, if we're going to make a global impact, which for me is how do we influence and impact up to 7 billion people's lives in such a way that everyone actually gets to live the life they love. Not just some of us, not like normal personal development, they go to 3% and 97%. I'm like, well, what about everyone? What if we could all be happy on the planet, all going for a transformation, all living the life of our dreams and purpose every day? And to do what I was doing in Sydney, I was having an impact in my local community in Sydney. And we built a great business with a gorgeous business partner named Sung. It was phenomenal. But as a lifestyle, I was working sometimes 15-hour days just to source the best produce ever, and I loved it. Truly loved it. Some days I still do big days, some days I do less. But the ability to work from anywhere and impact a lot of people was something that was on my heart to do. And to have that ability right now with the digital era is ridiculous. It's so cool. I even look at that. Can you imagine having this when we left school?
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it? Even things like Skype are a miracle almost. So we are in this moment of change when kind of anything's possible, and it's up to us what we do with it. And like something I find really inspiring about Brock is he's a total nature child like I am, but he's kind of kept that up in a way that I've got the 9-to-5 job and spent 15 years as a vet and become very domesticated, and sort of Brock's stayed wild, and we've had some great adventures, going out sourcing wild fruit and trekking up hills and stuff like that.
I remember that one on Glacier Rock.
Yeah,
that was awesome. All the way up, then we came down, we jumped in the water, then we went out, we're looking for durian.
Yep.
Hunting down on this mad adventure.
Yeah. So you really make the most of where you are, and that some people, they can be anywhere, but if you're just in another kind of random hotel room in a different city, you may as well stay at home. And I think part of the consciousness that we can bring out is that we need to get more in touch with nature, and that's what I love about what you're doing. It's not all happening in some anonymous boardroom. You recognise the value you get from being in nature and sharing that with people, and as part of gift that you do share with people locally. So, and increasingly the technology is getting that way where it's not a problem to be broadcasting from some remote place that people might not be able to get to easily, but could be an incredible getaway from their office, in virtual reality. That's the big thing at the moment. Is and I'm sure in a year's time there'll be people watching this as a virtual reality experience. That's the way things are going. So
it's crazy cool, huh?
The world is changing so fast. Absolutely, yeah. So tell us a bit more about your program, how you kind of changed lives at a distance, and how you've set things up. Because you've got you do a lot of Facebook Live calls, you do webinars, you do mastermind group coaching programs. Some of those details and just the types of tools or approaches you use are good to share.
Yeah, a few things I'm doing right now. So one I'm doing in particular, I made a micro commitment. So these are little things you commit to doing either every day or every week. And sometimes, you get into a new industry and it can be overwhelming. You start a new job and you normally have that honeymoon period. It's 1 or 2 weeks, then all of a sudden you just get everything thrown at you. And life can be a bit that way. And in particular as a business owner, you can have that where, you've gone in and you're so excited to start things, then the cash starts to go down, you start to freak out. And what I want to look at is, well, what is the mindset that we've got to have in such a way that we can keep increasing what we're doing? We can make these micro commitments, just little things every day, but actually when you think about that between 1 and 5 years' time, it actually makes a powerful difference. So they say over 80% of business owners go out of business within the first 5 years. And we don't want that to be us. If we've got a big mission, legacy, vision, and purpose to share with the world, we want to have the mindset and the daily habits to actually impact other people. So I keep looking at how can I make a creative impact in terms of my life vision in less time, particularly less time on the computer, because whilst I love it and I enjoy doing it, I don't want to be sitting on the computer 15 hours a day to create a result. I want to look at what's the direct route to impact the most people, what's the preference I can create here. And when I get into what I call the genius zone, which is what I love to share with my clients, be it in the 5-day challenge that I do with people as a gift, or the powerful M55 program, it's creating that shift in people that when they put themselves first, principles like abundant self-care, looking after our bodies, looking after our mind, looking after our soul, looking after how we have conversations with people. And when we do that more and more, it just makes a difference. Because all I know is this, you guys, one of the things you got to do in business, you got to make sales. It's probably the first things. Leads and sales is the first thing you got to do, whether it's online or in another business. Otherwise, you're out of business. If you don't have customers, you're out of the game.
Yeah. And
if you're striving so hard to get customers, but you're coming from a lack mindset, you're not looking after yourself first, when you speak to the person on the end of the phone, people can feel stuff more and more. Have you noticed that lately? Authenticity is powerful.
Definitely, yeah.
Like when you feel that, for instance, if you're on the phone, say I'm calling up you guys, you might speak to me on the phone one day, and this might be seeding something in you. You might end up speaking to me or one of my team, and I'm sitting there on the phone to you. If you can feel that I don't have the life that you want, why are you going to buy from me? Does that make sense? And I always looked at it because there's these stressed out people trying to sell things and do things and all these different things online. It didn't make sense to me. So one of the principles I like to share, first I do with myself, but I share with my clients now, is start articulating what the life of your dreams is, and within the budget that you have right now, start actioning some of those things. So say you said, well, I don't know, guys, just look at it right now. How much would you like to make a month? And just have a sense of what you'd like to do a month. And then when you get clear on that, start to think, well, what kind of things would I do if I was making that income level a month? And there might be 3, 4, or 5 things you can do. It might be getting a massage once a week. And for some people that seems like a luxury. I used to do it a while ago where I get 2 a week, and I've just always increased my business because I felt better.
Totally, yeah.
You think about, Tony Robbins and guys, in the game, a lot of people talk about Tony Robbins. I'm friends with his network chiropractor, Steve Katz. When he's in Australia, he gets chiropractic, massage, healing, all kinds of stuff. And that's why he's able to consistently keep building momentum in doing what he does.
Unreal.
So that's what I like to do, get people back to the core principles. And when I get people taking care of themselves and those core principles, people start to perform in what I call the genius zone. And the more that we start to get into that, that's what I'm interested in. How to literally function almost like, not outside the box like people talk about, almost outside the universe results. Where people go, wow, Dallas, how did you manage to get this result? And you're like, I'm not sure. Yeah. Just having fun.
I love it, Brock. And that concept of of doing what you wish you could do and what you're going to work for years to do. And for so many people, it's something like, oh, I'd love to be able to wake up in the morning and go for a walk on the beach. I'd exercise every day. I'd spend more time with my kids, and all those things are within reach now. And while it'd be great to make the money, you can probably actually get the results or something very close to it right now. And how much better would you be prepared to work toward that if you're already rewarding yourself with that today? And that's a bird in the hand as well, rather than working 10 years hoping to get somewhere. And as you say, there's a trap for online entrepreneurs that we spend 15 hours a day on the computer so that we can spend more time at the beach when we're successful. It just doesn't make sense. And like the beach is down there now, and we should go.
Yeah.
That's something I've really learned from Brock, and I'd love for you to share the concept of celebrating in advance, Brock, because that's an exaggeration or application of that, which is it's magic, and I'd love for you to share it with
Cool. I'm going to share that. There's another point I wanted to share too. That the challenge we get into in life is this: we start to say things like, "When I do this, then I'll do this." Yeah. When I'm successful, then I'll do this. But then the logical success happens where all of a sudden we do make the sale, we do make the difference, we do everything, and then all of a sudden there's another challenge that's upon us. It's always going to be more. It's part of life. As you create more things, there are going to be little things along the way we have to move through. It's just part of the journey. Otherwise, you're going to coach. You're going to be like one of those people that does the same thing for 50 years.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, that's pretty boring. So if you're getting that mindset of rather than when I do this, I do this, it's like looking at, well, how can I do more of what I love now?
It's worse than that, though, because often you've sort of got to compromise to get the result, and before you know it, you've made this whole set of compromises. Your life is nothing like you planned. You've gone down the wrong path to try to get the result, and you're further from it than ever. And a lot of people find 10 or 20 years into their career, they look back and their best days of their life are when they're a student, or trying to get their first job, and that's a tragedy. So
sad.
The idea of having what you want now and celebrating what you've got now, but then also be building toward something better, easier, more exciting, and having more impact. Because you talked about making sales. We've got to make sales. We've got to make the money, but also we've got to make the difference. And unless you sell, unless you can deliver and get customers, then you aren't living your purpose either. And we've got that need to be aligned and contributing and having success with our customers. They're all things that are rewards for us beyond just the sales. So the imperative of selling your business is as much about delivering value and getting great at doing that, and the rewards, the personal rewards of doing it, and the cash flow. So all those things.
Oh yeah, it's cool. So we're going to get back to that principle about celebrating in advance. So the final thing on that, instead of saying when I do this, I'll do this, it comes back to celebrate in advance. Go, well, if I know it's guaranteed in my business, I'm going to do X dollars a month. If I actually keep doing what I'm doing, you just take the roadblock off, you take the handbrake off. You all of a sudden go, this has to happen because I've seen it in my vision. I know this is happening. I'm absolutely clear and certain this is part of my path. And we stop doubting ourselves. You actually start being more of the person you always knew you could be. And if you lack a skill, you go, well, what else do I need to learn to be able to impact the world in the most powerful way ever? Successful people always look, well, I don't know how to build a website. I either find someone who does, or I learn how to do it. Just put it on the list and learn it. So the celebrate in advance principle is this. I do, and I'll tell you a specific story about it because it's fun to do. I like to go on a lot of adventures, and Christy and I will talk about things. So we'll say, we'd like to celebrate the next person that joins one of the powerful masterminds that I offer. And a specific example is a guy, I won't use names on this, but I was in Brisbane and I got a beautiful friend of mine who lives down there. I've been doing some stuff with him for a long time, and he's actually in the group we're in together, and just an awesome guy. And I was there in Brisbane, and I basically had said the next way I'm going to celebrate something is by going to the Lululemon store. Not a big way to celebrate, just a simple way. Go to the Lululemon store, buy myself something, buy Christy something, and then the sale hadn't happened. And then I remembered back another time where I'd sold a business up in Cairns where I pre-celebrated with a friend of mine. We went out and celebrated that night. We're up until 2 in the morning riding bicycles around, having the best time ever. On the Monday, I sold that business. And so I pre-celebrated and go, well, I know when I have this next person join, even though I don't know who the next person's going to be, logically, I just feel that there is someone who was about to jump into this. So I went to the Little Lemon store. It closes at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. It's 6 minutes past 4. And guess what? It's still open. So we walk in there. The girl that works there, the manager there, she recognizes Christy and I, and it's just, we've had chats with her before. She's really cool. So we just go in there, and she goes, don't worry about rushing. Just go and get what you want. I find a beautiful pair of shorts. Christy found a lovely top, and we're happy. So we've pre-celebrated. We're stoked about it. We go to our friend's house that night. The story doesn't end here. We've got to do the full story here.
Yeah.
So we go to the friend's house that night, and it's in Tenerife. So if you guys don't know where that is, it's a beautiful part of Brisbane. We go up to the apartment, and my friend's there, and we catch up with him. And then one of the other ways I like to celebrate is doing ridiculous stuff. So rather than just going down to the pool, I go down to the pool, jump in, feel amazing in the water, and then instead of going up the other way, I climb up the balcony and over the top. Just fun for me, you know, just doing silly things, doing life a bit different. I've always felt a bit disruptive. The story doesn't end there. A couple of the guys that are friends with this guy arrive at the house later on that day. Pretty cool. They look down, they go, is that Brock Bowen the life during the pool? Because Lululemon happened to follow me on Instagram for some reason. I feel blessed, you know, they like my vibe. And then all of a sudden, the whole team from Lululemon are there. We've got one guy who's the Wanderlust photographer. We've got another guy who's one of the brand ambassadors. We've got another girl who does something, another girl does something. All of a sudden, we're doing stupid photos. We're doing all kinds of stuff. We're up until 2 o'clock in the morning, celebrating life. Just like, bam, this is cool, making like silly photos and stuff. I'm trying to take photographs and mess that up. But then we're having such a great time there. And all these guys are like recognized, we're catching up, we're jamming, we're doing the best thing ever. Living the life of our dreams now is the important principle.
Yep.
That night, I got a call from a guy. Yeah? And he calls me up, he's like, Brock, I'm having some challenges in my business. I really like just to know, what can I do different? And if I was in a rush right then, because I need the sale, what would I do? We're trying to close him then.
Yeah.
You know, we have that mindset. I need people for my business. We want to get out of that lack mentality of I need this. I want to go, who else can I contribute today? What other value can I offer? Who can I open some new possibilities? That's my idea in sales, not closing people anymore. It's like, who can I open to a new possibility, a new way to be in the world so that they feel more abundant? And he calls me. He goes, dude, I hear you doing some stuff. Can you help me out? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let's book in a time to chat. Next day we chat. The next 2 days later, he books into the mastermind. That was great. The next part of the story is this doesn't end there. This is what I love about this principle.
It's got a set of snake lines as well.
The thing is this, he's never met the guys that are at the house that night. Next day, he bumps into them. And this is what, I've got this philosophy around momentum. It's almost like we're a pod of dolphins. If we all keep helping each other and giving what we love and actually contributing to one another, our world gets better, your world gets better, and as a collective, we make the world better, which is pretty awesome.
So, look, I love it, Brock. It's fantastic and absolutely encapsulates the idea of celebrating in advance. And if you haven't you hadn't celebrated your energy and really lived the fun, that's what we're selling in a way, is that energy and positivity. Is, when you go to make the sale, people, they want what you've got. And, it's not just your product, it's the energy you bring to it. No matter what you're selling, whether you're selling cupcakes or, mortgage services or, a holiday, any of these things, you've got to bring the energy of the result to the sale. You've kind of got to live the result and be a walking ambassador for it, which, you do in spades.
You got to love it.
Yeah.
If you're talking to someone about water and you don't love water, you love Coca-Cola, you're in the wrong game. Just find that thing. What is it you love as a kid? What are the things you love to connect with? And a lot of people talk about love and fear. I don't want to just stay there because I think we get a bit woo-woo sometimes as spiritual principles. But there are certain clues. And if you have to force yourself to do things, you want to look at that. If you're doing a business where you're forcing yourself to say, when I have the money, then I'll be free, then I'll go on more holidays, then I'll have more time with my family. No, you freaking won't. Truly you won't, because I've seen it. I've worked with so many clients. This used to be a mistake I made when I was coaching and mentoring people. I'd help them break free of the corporate thing, but what I didn't realize is we've got to change people's mentality and frequency and how they operate, because a lot of people worked big hours when they were in their corporate job. And they start in a business, guess what they do? Exact same thing, different mindset. So they've gone from this box to this box. And it almost feels like the corporate job, but it has an ABN. I don't know if you guys can relate to that right now.
And you don't have the perks either, and your boss is a bastard because he's the perfectionist guy who couldn't work for anyone else.
And you got no money and you don't get holidays.
Yeah, for sure. Look, that's awesome, Brock, and I'm definitely keen to continue this conversation, but let's wrap this up here. But people will want to know more about how they can get more of your magic. How can they get in touch, mate? What should they do to find out more about you?
Cool thing. Let me just put a shout out because I just had a feeling to go to California. So if anyone's watching from over there, I'd love to connect with you guys. There's a few people that I've dreamt that I'm going to connect with. I'm getting more visions. The more I connect into what I call the genius zone, I just feel where I got to be next. And that's the thing I want to share with you guys next is spend more time in nature, spend time paying attention to your breath, and spend more time by yourself where you just connect. Just sit there and bless yourself and bless other people because you get this intelligence of the next actions in your business. I want to share that just quickly. I'm going to be in California in May, possibly June as well, and then Europe. So if you're watching from there, reach out. You can find me at Brock Bowen, the Lifetarian on Facebook, Lifetarian. If you want to get in touch too, go and check out www.brockbowen.com. There's heaps of free value there. I'll let you know when the next launch of the 5-day challenge is. And if you're curious about this mastermind that I do with people, it's pretty awesome.
It's incredible. And the people in it, like it's blowing people away what they're getting done. Like it can change your life. So definitely worth checking out. But your free 5-day program has had incredible results and heaps of people are being impacted by that too. So that's probably going to be the starting point for a lot of people. But
definitely starting point. Brockbowen.com. The thing I want to say there too, people jump into something for free with me or I do a phone call. I've had people literally $2,500 gifted to them by a client who's already paid them. Seriously, like I can give you the person's name. It's weird. We want people to get wow, outside the box results so they can live in the magic, be it till they see it, and become the person they always knew on the inside they were destined to be. Not waiting until when, one day I should do this, one day blah, blah, blah. That thing, we get up in the gloop of things, but you think about kids. They want to play, they want to live an adventure and everything. And that's the invitation I want to be right now for all of you guys. Just to step into that space. And if I can contribute anything to you, absolutely love to do that. Dallas is doing wonderful things. There's plenty of people that can really help you just jump into this thing. But I think the key message here is to just start. You just start, take a step, do a little bit each day, you're going to get better. You just take a little step and another step and another step with that intention to get better at your craft, better at your business, better every day. Well, you won't even recognize yourself in 5 and 10 years. And that's my last little insight I'll give to you.
Awesome, Brock. So magic stuff, and look, definitely check that out if you haven't already connected with Brock. It could be the breakthrough you're looking for, especially when it comes to sales, mindset, and energy. So yeah, thanks for sharing, mate, and we'll definitely be talking more, I'm sure.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you all soon.